I don't require anyone to love my music. I don't require anyone to love my outfits. I don't require anyone to love me. All I require is that you be kind.
Hey, it's Deb, and this is Happy Hour with Deb, and I am honored and privileged to be sitting next to this beautiful lady,
Aww.
Michelle Canning, singer, songwriter, performer, artist, this young age, rock star status. We are humbled to have you.
Well, I'm humbled to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for being on the show. Let's start back in the beginning because we film a lot here in Nashville, and I guess it's like the old Hollywood. If you can make it here, you've made it.
Yeah.
When did this love of music start for you?
As early as I can remember. I don't remember a time where I wasn't completely obsessed with music. And even before I started playing music, I was always listening to it, singing it. I have a very clear memory being like maybe 3 or 4 years old, and I was standing in the playroom at our house, and I was going like this. And my mom said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm being like Alan Jackson because I know how he used to like to look out at the crowd."
Right. And, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so as long as I can remember, I've loved it. And then when I was 8 years old, I was introduced to the banjo from my grandfather. He had one in his closet.
Unbelievable. And if you love country music, you need a banjo.
You gotta love the banjo.
You need a banjo.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So he got me started on the banjo, and next thing you know, here I was just like rolling down this path that it was like snowball. I couldn't stop. It just kept going.
It was meant to be.
It really was.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely.
So how'd the whole career start? How'd you get that started?
Well, I think I always wanted it even the way that my grandfather even introduced me to the banjo was because I said, "Pepe, let's make a band." And he said, "Okay, well, I'll play the guitar and you play the banjo." And I didn't know what a banjo was, so he pulled it out and showed me. And from that moment on, that's just what I wanted to do. And then I was 16 years old. I had been, as a kid, a lot of the local bluegrass bands up in New England would bring me up on stage to play a song or two. And so I'd already decided that's what I wanted to do. And when I was 16, I had this group of guys that I used to jam with, older men. And there was this open stage, and I said to them, "You guys want to go do this open stage?" And they said, "Sure." Not a single one of us knew that open stage was a contest. And the winner,
Stop it.
The winner of the contest was going to get to play as a booked performer on the festival the following year. Well,
no way.
We won the contest.
Yes, Cinderella story. We love this. So how old were you at that point?
I was 16.
16 years old.
We won this little contest that we didn't know was a contest. And so we got booked back. Well, in the meantime, a friend of one of the guys in the band was needing a bluegrass band for this particular gig, and so they called us. And finally I said to the guys, "Well, we're getting these gigs, we might as well make it a band."
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
if we're making people love some, let's make people love some more.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I just started this band, and we were called Michelle Canning and Rough Edges at the time. And then eventually we dropped the Rough Edges because, as personnel changes happened and whatnot, now most of the people in the band are closer to my age, and so now we're just the Michelle Canning Band. But
that's incredible.
Yeah, and I've loved every minute of it.
So it kind of fell into place for you.
It really did. I always knew that I wanted it. I always chased it, but it wasn't like, okay, today I'm going to start a band. It just kind of happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because that is, this business, this music industry business, it's rough.
Yeah, it is. You get told no a lot, and
you got to be comfortable.
You got to get used to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, so how was that shift? You're 16, you're young, you're very young. Mm-hmm. How was the shift to now this is business?
It was an interesting shift. I know I knew it was a business in that, like you're 16, you get your first job, right? And my parents said, as long as you're making money off of your music, that can be your job. But the minute we see you not working on it, you're going to have to go work at the bagel shop, Yeah.
I love that about your parents, though. Shout out to your parents, because that's amazing.
Yeah. I have the most supportive parents in the world.
I love that. That's incredible.
But yeah, so it was always kind of a job to me in that sense. And then I went to school for traditional music. I studied at Morehead State in Kentucky at the Kentucky Center for Traditional Music, got a Bachelor of Arts degree in traditional music.
It's amazing.
And within that, we were part of band class, and we had music business classes, and we had songwriting classes, and all of that always tied back to it's a business.
Right.
And so it just became a part of me that I was really lucky that within my program, I was set up for success, that when I graduated, I knew what to do because I'd been doing it the last 4 years.
Yeah, and that's beautiful because so many, like, you know, they know this is their destiny. They know, they feel it, but they have no idea what the business is.
Yeah, you don't know where to start.
Right, you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And you're local, you've been here?
Yes, I've been living in Nashville for the past 6 years and just absolutely loving it. This is the town to be in.
It is totally the town. Like, no, there's a big piece of my heart here, too.
Oh, yeah.
I love it since I started training here and
sure.
working here. It's an incredible place to live. However, this is what we hear, right? That when you come here, you got to make it. It's 10. You got about a 10-year term.
10-year town, for
10-year
sure.
town. Tell the
6 years
listeners
in.
about that.
Well, you know, it takes a lot of work, and it's not just about being the best. You know, everybody that comes to Nashville was the best in their hometown.
Right.
And you have to come into Nashville knowing that most people are going to be better than you.
Right.
That's normal. There's going to be some people who aren't as good as you, and your job is not to crush them.
Right.
And
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're all rising together.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And, you know, it's going to take time and it's going to take work. And if you come and you expect that tomorrow I'm going to play on Broadway and some record exec's going to come discover me and boom, I'm going to be CMA Entertainer of the Year, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It takes work. Just like anything. Just like it takes work. The CEO of a company started as the janitor.
Absolutely.
You know,
and
it's
aren't
the same
those
idea.
truly the best stories? Like, I love when I hear stories. That we work a lot with entrepreneurs too, and I love to hear those stories that I started in the mailroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those are humble people.
Exactly.
That weren't giving up on a dream. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
And musicians are so in that space, you know, that they're so humble. Country music singers, like we were talking about, are the most humble.
Yeah, and you know, I think a big reason of that is the lyric of country music. It's speaking to a demographic of just normal people.
Honestly.
And so the people who fall in love with country music are just normal people.
Right.
Which means that the people who end up playing country music were just normal people.
Right. And they all started the same way with this dream of just wanting to spread the song, the music.
Exactly.
You know, the dream that, you know, the first time they get to play on Broadway or even in the airport at one of those things, it's a very humbling experience.
Right.
To know that somebody has like, wow, that lyric changed my life. Wow, just listening to that melody changed my life.
Mm-hmm. If a song can make you cry, it's the right song for you.
Amen. Truth. Amen.
Yeah.
So now are you writing?
I am. Yep. I'm a songwriter. I'm a banjo player. Play a bunch of instruments. The main instrument is banjo, and I've got a new album that just came out the 1st of March. So
that's awesome.
Doing all kinds of things.
That is crazy. So what's life like in that space now?
As an artist?
Yeah.
You know, it's fun because I'm doing different things than I've ever done. I grew up playing bluegrass. I love bluegrass. It's always going to have a special place in my heart. But I came to Nashville and started writing all these genres. I write bluegrass and I write country and I write pop and I write old country and new country. And what I did with this album was I made it genreless.
I love
because,
this.
You know, I got together with my producer at the very beginning for pre-production, and I was like, well, I've got all these songs if I want to do a bluegrass album, and I've got all these songs if I want to do a new country album, and I've got all these songs if I want to do an old country album, but I can't decide. And she said, well, why don't we do it all? And it was like, wow, you're right.
That.
We don't have to be pigeonholed.
We don't need options. We can do everything.
Exactly.
I love that.
And so when you listen to my album, you know, it's all cohesive. You know, it's got similar instrumentation for each song and whatnot, but at the same time, it's just there's no genre. You can't say this is a country album or this is a bluegrass. It's just an album.
Which is, you know, because country music, you know, I lived on the East Coast for a very long time. And when you live on the East Coast, we had the stigma of I've always loved country music, by the way.
Yeah.
Always. Because it's just such a real, like it resonates with you. Those are the lyrics you go to in your hard times and in your party times.
Right.
And it was such a I remember it was such a oh my God, you just love Kenny Chesney. And that's like an I'm like, and then when the shift in the entire country started moving
for sure
and that was pivotal.
I'll tell you what, you try being a banjo player in a Catholic school in Massachusetts, if you want to talk about getting picked on.
Right, exactly.
So, but yeah, you're right. And then one day it was like, boom, everybody loved it.
It was amazing to watch that shift and that mindset change because, you know, it was like, you know, people were like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of rednecks. And I'm like, God bless the rednecks, first of all.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know.
Rednecks gave us our music.
Amen. Exactly. And you know what's true? Like, everybody wants inner peace and feelings and that kind of stuff. And that's what country music represents.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's become this thing where, like, I want to be in a pickup truck with some straw and 6-pack next to me and a dog and the love of my life and talk about it. Now it's the American dream.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is crazy.
It is. It's wild to me but you know, I'm so glad. It's like, this is what I've always dreamed of.
Yes.
That people would understand what I understood about country music this whole time.
Right. It's truly, it's like, it's amazing. And when people don't, I'm like, you haven't heard it. You're just blocking it out because you don't think it's your stuff.
Yeah.
Because country music is just so amazing.
Absolutely.
Like, it's the old, like, that's my, like, go-to, like, cooking dinner or go-to, you know, you got your feel-good songs that are constantly going on. And
absolutely.
So after the album that was just released, where are you playing?
Well, I'm playing all over. We actually just did a benefit concert to support the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, and we raised over $13,000 for the Alzheimer's Foundation. We do this every year. It's our biggest show of the year, and it's so special to me. My grandfather passed with Alzheimer's.
I was going to say, let's get into this. Why is this important to you?
Yeah, so we started it for my grandfather when I was 16 with that very first version of my band.
Special memories.
So special. And it was really the first big show that we ever had besides that festival that we won.
Right.
And
divine intervention, my friend. Divine intervention.
For sure. We had the song that I had written, my guitar player and I had co-written this song about Alzheimer's disease in memory of my grandfather. And my fiddle player at the time said, you know what? Why don't we take that one step further, and why don't we help people with Alzheimer's disease? And so
I love this.
We started this benefit concert. First year, we really didn't know what to expect. We were a brand new band. Nobody had ever heard of Michelle Canning and Rough Edges.
Right.
And we were like, maybe the hall will be half full and we'll raise $200.
Right.
People came in, and they came and they came and they came, and my family members were pulling chairs out of the back room because we didn't have enough for people to sit.
Wow.
We raised $2,000 that year,
That's
which
amazing.
blew my mind.
Right, that's incredible.
And every year we raised more, and now this is our 13th year. We've raised over $13,000 total. We've raised over $80,000 for the Alzheimer's Foundation.
Bravo.
Thank you.
What does that do to your mindset when you see that?
Well, the thing that I love about it is that it gives everybody an opportunity to help.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I just think back about, I was 12 years old when my grandfather passed.
Yeah,
and I think
sorry.
about being that age and not understanding why he didn't know who I was.
Right.
Yeah, like my parents told me he has this disease and it's called Alzheimer's and it makes him lose his memory. But you get it, but you don't get it.
You don't get it.
I
I didn't get it as an adult.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, what is going on? Right.
And what I love about this is that the Alzheimer's Foundation is helping families just like mine.
Yeah.
And when
So
I give to
good.
them, you know, they're helping with Alzheimer's research, which is amazing. We need
Right.
that. But
Absolutely.
they're also in the field. And they're helping. They have a 24-hour hotline. So
with the families.
With the families.
Because we're the direct people that are
Exactly.
on, like, how do I handle this?
Yeah. So if, you know, let's say that you have a loved one with Alzheimer's disease and you're their primary caregiver. Anytime, 24/7, you can call the Alzheimer's Foundation and they're there to answer your questions.
That's beautiful, yeah.
They have programs for the patients themselves. They have dance parties and music classes and yoga classes.
I love this.
You name it, they have it.
Right.
And I love that because the life of an Alzheimer's patient is so depressing.
It's so depressing.
If for 30 minutes a week they can dance, how special is that?
It's crazy. I mean, I'm going to say for every human being.
Yeah.
Dance for 30 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's just, that will bring up your energy, your mood. And that's music. Country music to me is my go-to at my highest points and at my lowest points.
Right.
Like, those lyrics get me going.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why, you know, there are a lot of organizations that help Alzheimer's, and I commend every single one of them. They're all amazing. But that's why I chose the Alzheimer's Foundation of America to give the money to, because yes, they are helping the research and we need that, but they're also right there helping those families that need what our family needed.
It's so true because, you know, we automatically start to think, oh my gosh, that's so terrible for them.
Right.
But as these diseases progress, it takes the biggest toll on the people that love them and the family members and watching, because we had talked about earlier that I had an aunt that passed, unfortunately, from Alzheimer's, and she was sharp and she was beautiful, and every quality that I think is a strong quality in myself, I learned from this woman.
Right.
So to watch that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
It really is. And what I've learned is that it's not something that just happens to a few people.
Nope.
I go to these shows and I play our Alzheimer's song, and without fail, at least 5 people come up to the record table, at least, to tell me about their loved one who had Alzheimer's disease. At the show this past Saturday, I asked the audience, I said, raise your hand if you've been affected by Alzheimer's disease, and almost every single person in that crowd raised their hand.
Wow.
And
That's
it's,
incredible.
it's not a disease that gets a lot of press.
No.
But it's
well,
a
it's
disease
not pretty. It's not glamorous.
No. But it's
You know?
it's a disease that almost everybody is affected by, whether you actually get the disease or not.
Absolutely. Right. You're affecting generations of families.
Exactly.
You know, because that's now it becomes a person you haven't even recognized.
Right.
Let me ask you this question while we're talking about it. All these incredible people, we've met a lot, coming to Nashville with this dream of doing this. Is it important for them to support a cause?
Well, I think from a career perspective, yes, but it can't come from a career perspective. If it comes from a career perspective, it's not real. And if it's not real, people are going to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sniff out authenticity. 100%.
So yes, it does boost your career if you have a cause, but that shouldn't be why you're doing it.
Right. It just constantly brings me back to the, Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Getting cancer and then deciding to shift his influence and money into helping families of children that are doing this. And with this, Michelle Canning, this name, right, comes a certain responsibility.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To give back.
Absolutely.
Tell me your thought on that. Obviously you're super passionate about that.
Well, I think that there is a responsibility for everybody, whether you have a big name or not.
Absolutely.
There's
Agreed.
a responsibility.
100%.
And it's up to you to find out what that is.
Yep.
And for me, I was lucky that I've always known what I wanted to do. Most people, they go to college undeclared. I went to college and was like, banjo? Any banjo?
Right.
Where can I go for banjo?
Hey, show of hands for the banjo class. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But that was the inspiration from your grandfather.
Exactly. And what I love about it is I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I have this passion for helping people with Alzheimer's, but I don't have the knowledge. I didn't go to school for medicine.
Right.
I don't have that. But that doesn't mean I can't help them.
I love that attitude of coming from a place of, in a way, I can still contribute.
Exactly.
Just because I'm not an expert in the field doesn't mean that I can't start changing lives.
Right.
That's beautiful.
And when I do this benefit, I create an opportunity for other people.
Oh, that's
because I put together this concert, right? And that people think, okay, we're going to a concert and the money goes to Alzheimer's disease. Well, then they come to the concert and it's a very celebratory atmosphere. We do not make it somber.
Right, I love this.
And
life is to be celebrated.
Exactly.
It really is.
It really is.
Stuff's going to knock you down every day. So it's to be celebrated.
Yeah.
I totally believe in that.
So we have this great big concert, very celebratory. And when people come to it, it's like you see the light bulb go off. You see people who maybe I meet them somewhere else and I invite them to come to the concert and they're like, I don't know, maybe if we're free. Right. And then they come to the concert and this light bulb goes off of, wow, look how many people we're helping.
I know.
And next thing you know,
crazy.
People are coming back year after year. They're making donations much bigger than the price of their ticket.
Right.
And I'm giving people the opportunity for them to help too.
Truth. I love this concept.
It's just, everybody can help somehow. You don't have to be something to help.
Absolutely. We totally
Everything
agree.
can help.
Same way. When we started this podcast, it was about who we think is, extraordinary, that's doing these incredible things to move and shake this world, And I just thought, every little nugget is God, I can do that.
Yeah.
God, it's not that hard. Talk to entrepreneurs. I'm like, what's your best advice? They're like, don't give up.
Right.
Believe in yourself, trust the good Lord. He's going to get you in the right place.
Yeah.
And don't give up on the dream.
Yeah.
What
and
is
that's
the
easier
most
said than done.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. I mean, because we're our own worst critics.
Oh yeah.
And the self-doubt comes in,
Yeah.
and the negativity, and in your generation, the competitiveness of this business
Sure.
and that kind of stuff. What's the most amazing, moving story you've heard in all this?
As far as Alzheimer's
Yeah, it's
patients?
fun as like playing and somebody reaching out to you from the crowd. And
I've gotten a lot of people coming up in tears. A lot of, my mother had Alzheimer's, my father had Alzheimer's, my best friend had whatever. But my favorite story, and this is actually one that happened to me.
I love this.
But I have a friend, his name is Russ Marsden. Russ ran the Pemi Valley Bluegrass Festival for over 20 years up in Campton, New Hampshire, and then moved to Thornton, New Hampshire. And Russ was one of the first festival promoters who really took me under his wing. He brought me on stage as a kid, and we became very close, and he was like another grandfather to me.
Oh, wow. That's
And
great.
Russ developed Alzheimer's when I was a preteen.
Wow.
And I was probably 15-ish years old, and he was pretty much gone at this point. But I went to visit him, and I had a song that was called I Saw the Master This Morning that he had asked me to learn prior to his diagnosis.
Right.
And I played it for him, and he couldn't remember my name. He didn't know where he was. I played that song, and he sang every lyric with me.
Wow.
And it really showed me what music does to the brain. Music,
Yes.
Alzheimer's.
It's so therapeutic.
It is. And it makes you realize just how important music is in our lives. We were talking earlier about if you can dance for 30 minutes a day, you're going to be so much happier. And it's because music is rhythm, and our heartbeats are rhythm, and it all comes together.
And it floods like every norepinephrine
Yes.
and dopamine, and all of a sudden when
Yes.
you're feeling negative, and especially with country music, because you're like, God, somebody else felt that pain. You don't feel so isolated and so alone. There's a big sign in my kitchen, and it says, "This kitchen is made for dancing."
I love that.
Because you spend so much time in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's like your hub.
Oh,
and
listen, I dance a lot in the kitchen.
Yeah, like truth. And I'm like, that has become a rule in my home that we're dancing, we're singing. This is our time to celebrate.
Right.
Whether we're making a pizza or whether we're creating a recipe together.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That is our form of bonding. You know, so, and when I tell people that, they're like, we don't even cook as a family. I'm like, I encourage you
Absolutely.
to get songs that everybody loves and blast that in the kitchen.
And next thing you know, everybody's singing,
Everybody's singing,
dancing.
everybody's
and
dancing.
whatever family quarrels you had,
Absolutely.
right out the window.
It brings people together.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
Tell me the first time somebody recognized you. Said, Michelle Canning.
Yeah, I was at a dance. This is don't judge. It was an old folks dance.
Right. We
And,
don't judge here, ma'am.
I love old
Judgment-free
music,
zone.
and I thought, you know what? I don't care if it's a bunch of old folks there. I love
Right.
old music. I want to go dance.
Right.
So I went. It was my parents and I, and my friend Sarah, my best friend, one of my biggest fans and biggest supporters,
Love
and
that.
her parents, and we all went out together, and we were like, the big joke was like, Michelle and Sarah aren't going to find any guys at this dance.
Right, exactly.
And so we go to the
That's so
dance,
funny.
and there's
Don't worry
you know,
about the extra lip liner, not necessary.
Right, yeah. It's like the dance floor's over here, then there's a big thing of tables, then the bar's over here. And I left my group to go to the bar and get a drink.
Right.
And I'm walking to the bar, and this guy tugs on me, and he goes, "Are you Michelle Canning?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Yes, how do I know you?" And he said, "You don't, I saw you on TV." And I just was like floored.
What do you even say at that point?
And I said, "Wow." And we just started talking, and he said, I don't want to bother you or anything." And I said,
Right.
"No, you're not bothering me. This is the coolest thing that's ever
Right,
happened
this
in
is
my
the best.
life."
This is write this down, sir. Right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But I was so touched that, that he saw me, that he knew who I was, that he stopped me. I thought that was really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, what is it like to walk on stage and have people paying and sitting and waiting to see you?
It means so much to me.
Does it?
It's like, you can imagine, I spend my whole life working on this, and being a musician, there's all that crippling self-doubt.
Of course.
And to hear people clap for me, it's like, wow.
Wow.
It just, I don't even know how to describe what that means to me. And, we played the benefit last weekend, and they gave an encore so loud that my ears hurt.
So beautiful.
And it just, I don't even know how to describe that feeling that people feel that way about me.
I know, that's so fabulous.
It's very cool.
I know.
Very, very
Even
cool.
for me to like reach out to somebody like you, like we're a little starstruck right now.
Oh, well,
We're a little
you shouldn't
starstruck.
be.
We're a little. I know. I mean, you're perfectly, wonderfully fabulous, but
Oh.
like we are. It's an honor to like for us
Well,
to
that
like
honor
to
goes
have
both
somebody with
ways.
your kind of talent.
It really does go both ways because, you know, you have this really cool podcast and you want me on it.
We're just trying to spread some love. We're just trying to make sure everybody gets like through
Yeah.
the day in an amazing way, and everybody walks away with a nugget of how to just live your dream.
Well, and I love that. And I love that you're doing this. And thank you for doing this podcast
Oh, thank you
because
so much.
the world needs this.
Yeah.
It really does.
It was really important to me to like, in this culture, you know, we judge people by the name on the back of a jersey,
Yeah.
or you know the album cover or whatever. And it was really important to me that there's people out there doing the grind every single day, living the passion, living their dream. And I just like to share that story, to lift somebody to the point like I can do that.
Yeah.
It was like so important for me to tell the story.
Yeah.
And then we're getting people like you, and I'm like, okay, now we're at badass level.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been so
You've always been at badass level.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. But it is truly, it's very, it's humbling, and it's great, and it's incredible. Tell me what's up and coming. What's next? What's going on?
Well, I'm back into writing. So we got this new album out. So now it's time to write the next one.
Do you write for other artists?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
I've got a #1 bluegrass song called "Which Train" that Williamson Branch recorded. Ainsley Costello, who's an up-and-coming pop rock artist, has recorded one of my songs, a few others as well. So always, you know, writing and pitching for others and keeping songs for myself too. But right now it's writing the next album, and which means
amazing.
writing 100 songs to pick 15, you know?
Right, exactly.
But yeah,
well,
that's the next thing on the docket.
What's your audience? Tell me who your go-to audience is.
Well, you know, I grew up playing bluegrass, and so there's a lot of older folks that are into bluegrass, so I've got a lot of those folks that like to come to my shows. But really, honestly, my target is everyone. If I can speak to you, if I can touch your heart, if I can make you believe that you're worthy of something, that you're worthy of love, if I can make you feel good, if I can make a bad day a good one, then that's who I want to play for.
You've done your job.
Yeah.
I love that you turned that into like your purpose. That's my purpose too.
It really is. When I was a little girl, you know, I told you, I played the banjo at a Catholic school in Massachusetts.
Right.
I got brutally made fun of.
I can't even imagine.
And there was this band called Southern Rail. They were, you know, a New England regional band. And whenever I was just really struggling, I'd come home from school crying because somebody called me a hick or whatever.
Right. Balloon poppers, I call them.
Yeah.
Pin and balloon poppers. Right.
Mom would take me to a Southern Rail concert.
I love this. Your
And
parents
Southern
would
Rail
sound
concert.
amazing.
Oh, I have the best parents in the world.
Oh, that's such a good thing.
And that Southern Rail concert would, for 2 hours, make me forget about all those kids at school. And
you believed in the dream and you stuck to it.
And I did. And my goal when I perform is not to win CMA Entertainer of the Year.
Right.
My goal when I perform
There's no doubt that's
is
coming.
to
it's coming.
Oh, you're sweet.
It's totally coming.
But my goal is to make a little girl forget about all the kids at school, or to make a little boy forget that he has an orthodontist appointment tomorrow, or to make a grown-ass adult forget that their boss sucks, you know?
Amen. And to dance in a kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's your favorite artist?
It's hard to pick one favorite, but
Tell me about everybody you love.
I'm a big Reba fan.
Yes.
My goal in life is to have a Reba cut. So Reba, if you're listening, I got a few songs for you.
Reba. We have a little Reba connection. We can probably make some introductions.
I love that.
Yeah.
A big Dolly fan. Of course,
Big
you gotta
Dolly.
love Dolly.
Well, that's why we brought you to a Pink House.
Yeah, this is.
I'm going to give you the back info.
This
we're
is
like,
the
you're
coolest house I've
coming.
ever
We're
been
getting
in.
her a Pink House.
I love it.
It's very cool, right? Dolly Parton generates. Like, she just resonates with every age, every generation.
Yeah, she
She'll
really
never
does.
go out of style.
Yeah.
ever. She's a hero.
Because she loves everybody.
She's a legend.
I want to be Dolly when I grow
I know
up.
who made truth. First of all, I want that figure. Like, how do I
Right?
get on that? Like, what
I
do I got to
know.
eat to get that?
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Who else? Who else is so crazy inspiring to you?
So I grew up loving Rhonda Vincent, and I'll
Right.
tell you a story, female empowerment story.
Love this.
So I grew up playing the banjo. There are not a lot of female banjo players in the
Right.
world. Not a lot of female bluegrassers in the
Right.
world, really.
Few and far between.
Yeah. And my banjo teacher had said to my parents, all of her biggest influences, they're all guys. She needs a female influence.
We need a sister story.
And so my mom, for Christmas, bought me 2 DVDs, Alison Krauss and Rhonda Vincent Ragin' Live.
Wow.
Now, I love me some Alison Krauss, but we're going to push her to the side for a minute.
Right.
I put that
You get
Rhonda
there on the back
DVD
burner.
in.
We're getting back to you.
Yeah. I put that Rhonda DVD in. Oh my gosh. I watched it every day, twice when I came home from school.
Wow.
I knew every word by heart, not only the song lyrics, but what she said between the song, everything. I knew
Right.
it all. And I just totally was just enamored by her. And it was like, that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. And so when I graduated from the 8th grade, my 8th grade graduation gift, my parents got me a trip to Missouri to Rhonda's family festival
Stop it.
to meet Rhonda.
Wow. That's so, you must have been like,
And-
oh, I'm in the presence
Oh my
of greatness.
gosh. So I go, I meet her, and I, ask her what advice does she have for somebody who really wants to be a bluegrass star. And she tells me play for as many people as you can. And to this day, I think about that every time I play out somewhere.
Touch every human being you can touch. That's
yeah.
me.
If I can play on a street corner and somebody's going to listen, I don't know who that person is. They could
Right.
be, they
Right.
could be the president of RCA Records for all I know.
You just never know, especially in this town.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you just never know who's going to walk into that room at that time.
So anyways, she gives me the advice, everything that I'm just so excited that I've met her, whatever. Well, she plays her set, and now her second set is going to be an all request show. So she's got a line
Girlfriend,
of
you
people.
could have just did it on your own. You've been like, stand by, I got this. I got
Yeah,
you. I'm
I've got a
feeling
list
you.
of
Go
requests.
grab a Diet Coke. We got this.
Yeah. So she gets off the stage and she says, if you have a request for the all request show, this is the line you're going to stand in. So I figured all my requests, this line is so long, all my requests, they're going to get in there somewhere.
Right,
so I
right.
don't get in line.
Right.
But I do go to the bathroom.
Right.
While I'm in the bathroom, my mom cuts the line,
Stop it.
gets to the front.
Your mom's a badass.
Oh, my mom's such a badass.
I love that.
She gets to the front of the line and she says to the guy in the front, I need to do this before my daughter gets out of the bathroom. So he says, okay. So he lets her cut. And she says to Rhonda, my daughter is a really big fan of yours. She's a banjo player. Would you play All American Bluegrass Girl and dedicate it to her?
Wow.
And Rhonda says, does she play that song? And my mom said, well, no, but she plays Kentucky Borderline, which, of course, is Rhonda's big hit.
Right.
She's got a lot of big hits, but one of her biggest. And she said, okay, well, we'll do something special. And that was that. So mom's thinking she's going to play either All American Bluegrass Girl or Kentucky Borderline and dedicate it to me. So we're sitting there during the second set, and she says, there's a girl in the audience. Her name is Michelle. Michelle, where are you? And I'm like, so I slowly raised my hand.
She's talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And she said, Michelle, I heard you know how to play Kentucky Borderline. And I said, I do. She said, where's your banjo? And it was right there by my feet.
Whoa.
She brought me up on stage, and I played Kentucky Borderline with
Stop
Ron Vincent and
it.
the Rage.
Whoa.
And, oh my gosh, you couldn't get me on off of Cloud 9 for years after that.
Riding on that event, right. That's amazing.
And Rhonda has since become a close friend of mine.
Oh,
and
that's so
it's just-
beautiful.
I'm still starstruck by
We
her all these
love
years
this,
later. I was
right?
13 when that happened, and to this day, I see her and I get like all nervous.
I
you
know. You know what I found out about people like you when we, because I do get totally starstruck, right? I'm like, oh my God, how am I getting through this interview? These are huge movers and shakers, right? I found that every one of you is so humble.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. And Rhonda's one of the most humble people I know. And I've since gotten to know her brother Darren and all of the Vincent family. They're normal people.
Yes. That's what I love about country music too, is because country music is not cutthroat. It's about, I'm here, let me take your hand so you can get here too. Mm-hmm. I think that's such an amazing, that is a country music thing.
It really is.
That's a South thing.
It is. And it's something that it should be an everything thing, because let's say you and I are both songwriters and I'm going to compete against you. Well, now one of us is going to do great, the other one's not.
Right.
But if you and I are songwriters and we write together,
Right.
we're both going to write a song that's going to be even better than what either of us could have write on our
Absolutely.
own.
Right.
And now let's say you get a publishing deal and you say, well, I want to write with my friend Michelle. Now Michelle gets a publishing
Right.
deal. You know, everybody moves up together.
This is my thought on competition. You know, when I went to school and started another business and whatever, you know, everyone was like in competition. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's room for everybody fabulous at the top.
Yeah.
I don't think there can be enough happiness. I don't think there can be enough love.
Yeah.
You know, like I believe it's for everybody.
Right.
And taking people on that ride is just an incredible journey.
It really is.
It is. I agree. Your
And that's
attitude
how you make
is
the
fantastic.
best friends of your life.
Truth.
You know?
Truth. You know, when you're coming in with the authenticity,
Yeah.
that like there's struggles, right? We're all
Right.
struggling through something. With the authenticity that like, I got you, I feel you, you know, and you hold that space for people,
Yeah.
it just changes lives.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing you ever went through in all this?
I think the hardest thing for me was the ridicule of, you know, first of all, being a banjo player in Massachusetts. Yeah,
Right.
It's not cool.
Well, now I can tell you, you're the coolest banjo player that ever came out of Massachusetts.
Well, thank you.
I would get like, welcome to Massachusetts. I get like a plaque. Home of the world's biggest badass banjo player.
Yeah,
I would like, to me, I'd ride that to the bank,
I love it.
you know?
But really, I think I would say that's maybe the second hardest. I think the first hardest for me was, you know, I'm true to myself.
Right.
And I'm going to wear a short sparkly dress if I want to wear a short sparkly dress.
That's great.
And there were a lot of people that didn't like that. There were a
Right.
lot of people that wanted me to dress like I was from Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
And if that's how you dress, that's cool.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with
It's
that.
a judgment-free zone.
Exactly. And
It takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, we all are, but mostly your generation, their biggest fear is judgment.
Yeah.
Like, how is everybody, like, we're spending time up at night worrying about what other people think of
Right.
us. Colossal waste of time.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love that you're in that headspace that you don't think about it.
I don't, but you know, it took a long time for me to get there.
Getting in that skin,
Because
right?
I would show up wearing my cute sparkly short dress, whatever, and I'd get all kinds of people telling me that was inappropriate, or that's not bluegrass, or you're just trying to be Rhonda Vincent. And I'm not trying to be Rhonda Vincent. I'm trying to be Michelle Canning.
Right.
And I can't help it if Michelle Canning loves a short sparkly dress just like Rhonda
Right.
Vincent does.
Exactly.
You know,
it's an
and-
exclusive club.
It is.
The short sparkly dress.
Oh, yeah.
Totally feel that. So how, like, when those negative moments, because, you know, here's my theory on haters, okay? You're not a rock star unless you got a group of haters.
Oh, yeah.
Because guess what? They're still watching. They're still talking about it.
But you know what? Bad publicity is great publicity.
Oh, no doubt. People don't get, they're like, I would go online, but the problem is, and somebody's going to judge me. I'm like, let them.
Yeah,
Let 'em.
exactly. Well, and that's what it took, honestly, for me was when it first started happening, I was probably late teens, early 20s when I first started getting this
That's a very
ridicule.
vulnerable age to
It
be
is.
criticized.
And it was so hard on me. I
I
cried
can't
a
even
lot.
imagine. I can't
and I
even
took it
imagine.
all to heart. Every time I took it to heart.
Right,
And at some point, it was just, excuse my language, but it was F them.
right. Truth.
You know, and it
Truth.
became, you know what? This is me.
Right.
And I'm going to be unapologetically me because I'm not going
Right.
to be somebody else.
That, you know, it happened later in life for me, but I'm like, you know what? These are my terms. If you don't like it, then you just weren't meant to be in the world. And that, with all love and all respect, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
only hanging around people that are elevating my mindset.
Right.
You know?
Well, and-
but you're young, and that's a hard thing because, like, judgment, I mean, social media, I mean, you guys are so used to it, but, like, it wasn't even heard of.
Right.
You know? That's a
Right.
big thing.
Yeah.
I've literally, you know, you've met my team, right? So here's me. I don't know how many followers. I don't know what they say. If they say good things, I call my assistant. I'm like, bravo, let's go, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
I had to take myself out
Right.
of it to know that this mission was to make the world a better place.
Right. Exactly.
And just kind of
and
remove
you have
myself.
to. I did a NPR story,
Right.
and I was 15. I had just won the New England Banjo Championship.
I love this. The fact that, well, let's back up for 1 second to the viewers and the listeners, my East Coast people. The fact that there's banjo music there is That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a big bluegrass community in New England. You just gotta look for it.
I love that. I love that because it's true. It's so that's labeling and stereotypical, right? Because you just think, right? It's not so good for you for the carriage.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're doing this NPR story, and so they want to do a story because I was the youngest person, only female ever to win that title.
Wow.
And to this day, I still hold that.
That's impressive.
And so they wanted to do this story on me, and they came, and it was like really cool for like little 15-year-old me. Like here's all these microphones, and it was really cool. And they took a video of me playing this song. Well, in the video, I'm wearing on my left ring finger a ring that my grandfather had given my grandmother when they were teenagers. Just a simple gold band with a ruby in the middle. That video goes online. The number of comments, she's 15, she's already married. She must be married to her brother because she's a banjo player.
Oh.
So many of them.
Close-minded.
And it got to where my parents didn't let me look at the comments anymore. They would show me the good ones.
Right.
And that's what you have to do.
It's
you have
really
no choice.
true. Right. And I literally got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Without the haters, it's really, because guess what? They're keeping up. They're keeping up on it. So use that as an asset at that point too, because there is. And as women alone, that's like, you know?
Right.
I mean, God forbid you go out on a bad hair day.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's like, holy smokes, you're being judged. And I think for, especially your generation, but when you're going to put yourself out there, you, to me, like, my mission is to be authentic and to make people's lives better, right? And if you're going to judge that, you're not my person.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that you're not somebody's person.
Right.
You're just not my person.
Right.
So that's the way I deal with it.
Absolutely.
But you've been doing this a long time now, so that kind of is like water off a duck.
You know, it really is. I have gotten to a point where it's just whatever they say, they're going to say.
True.
And I know who my fans are.
Don't take it personally.
And I cater to my fans. I don't cater to the people who are telling me I should do something different.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm never going to make those people happy.
Right. And maybe they should go do something different.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're putting a lot of energy into me. That's like,
you don't have to.
Can't you go plant a tree or something to make this world a better place?
Yeah.
No doubt. I get that.
I don't require anyone to love my music. I don't require anyone to love my outfits. I don't require anyone to love me. All I require is that you be kind.
Absolutely.
And I find the people who are kind, and that's who I gravitate
That's
toward.
it. Those are your people.
Yeah.
So you have such amazing insight and energy, and at such a young age. Do you mentor anybody? I
do. I have a few students that I teach banjo lessons to, and I'm always, if I see a kid who's into it, I'm always right there.
I bet.
I try to be to them what people were to me.
Right.
You know, I really try hard for that.
Yeah, because we know, like, the climb to the top is not pretty.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just not a pretty thing. And to touch other lives, you know, I had somebody ask me, they're like, can you be my mentor? And I was like, is she talking to me?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of insanity are you on? But it is truly just an honor.
Yeah, it really is. And it's an honor that people would want me to mentor them,
right?
For sure.
But it's a humbling experience when you hear that.
Yeah.
It's a humbling experience.
And the best I can do is take all the lessons that I learned the hard way, try to make it easier for them.
That's my life. That's what I preach. I'm like, I don't want you to ever feel the pain I felt.
Yeah,
exactly. And if there's anything I can do to help minimize that, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Truly. And you know, I can teach kids how to play the banjo all day long, but I feel like I haven't succeeded until I've taught them how to live a life of music. It's not,
I love that.
And I was very blessed. Both of my banjo teachers, my banjo teacher growing up, and then my banjo teacher when I went to college, both of them, they didn't just teach me banjo lessons, they gave me life lessons. And my teacher growing up, we had an hour lesson every other week. Most of the time it was 3 hours.
Wow.
And we would spend half of it playing the banjo.
Wow.
And the other half was just life. And I would say, you know, I went.
That's literally what's missing in every universe.
Yeah.
We teach people, you know, we send them to college and universities and everything, and then they come out and they're like, how do I navigate this?
Yeah.
Like navigating life.
Right.
Especially when you're in the spotlight.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's you know, especially as a kid, you don't know how to be in the spotlight.
No.
Nobody ever teaches you that.
No.
Even as an adult,
we take
nobody
it personally.
teaches you that.
Like, children are vulnerable,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And we take that stuff to heart. And it hurts.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's scary for children. I mean, that same video with the ring
right.
ended up on a child porn site. and my parents had to fight to get it taken down.
Oh.
And there were multiple instances where there were people that I had to stay away from. You know,
That's really
it's
hard.
like it's already hard to be in the limelight, and to be a child in the limelight is even harder.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's also the issue of, you know, your child, you get cuteness factor.
Right.
Then you become a teenager and you're kind of half in the cuteness
Right,
factor.
exactly.
Then you become an adult and it's like, oh, now I really have to be good. You know, and that's hard too.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's hard when you're used to all your life, no matter how good or bad you played, you got a huge round of applause.
Right, exactly.
So one day, all of a sudden, that's just gone.
Right.
That's hard too.
That's not good enough, right?
Yeah.
I know.
And so that's something that
I feel like that's kind of missing in raising children, right?
It is.
Because we want to build strong, independent thinkers, doers that dream big, but we also want to like be. With my own daughter that I tried, I'm like, there's gonna be some times where
Right.
you're not gonna be the winner.
Yeah. And that's one thing when I am mentoring somebody is I try to remind them when they hit that stage of the cuteness factor is gone, that they're still good enough.
Absolutely.
That just because they didn't get the same round of applause they got last year when they had a cute little baby face
Right.
doesn't mean that they're not good enough.
Right. Because that's in life. That's what we got to do. We got to pivot.
Yeah.
We just have to pivot. Mm-hmm. Tell me the dream. We all got a dream as artists, right? As people that want to touch life. Tell me the biggest dream.
I think there's a million of them floating around. I already told you a Reba cut will be a huge dream of mine. Songwriter of the year, you know, just. But honestly, a lot of the dream has already come true. You know,
my goodness, you're like living it.
I just raised $13,000 for the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. I remember
made a lot of people's lives way better.
And I remember when I raised $2,000.
Right.
You know,
right.
and so just to see how my career has grown, the dream's coming true every minute.
I love that. So I live in Texas, and the country music, I don't know how this happened. Last year moved to where I live, to the Star in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
What an honor.
So cool.
I mean, what an honor. So for 3 days, there was a festival, like leading up to this. And all the up and coming artists played.
Yeah.
For 3 days on, you know, it was like essentially a football field.
Yep.
What, like the things and then, you know, they're getting awards. Like last night at like 2 hours later. To be in the presence of somebody who has worked that hard and is out there just trying to, like, fans, these are my people, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was mind exploding to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, you get it, you know?
And
like,
I'm sure all these people, I mean, it was probably a lot of their first time playing a stadium.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I haven't played a stadium yet, but gosh, one day I'm going to.
Damn, you're right, you are. Like, yes.
And I bet that just must have been amazing for them.
It was, just to witness it.
Yeah.
To me was so incredible because I'm like, don't stop believing.
And that's one thing I try to remember, like, you know, the CMA awards are announced and inevitably someone's like, well, they're not country or they're, you know, why did you pick them or whatever.
Right.
But we forget that none of them started as big stars, not a single one of them.
No.
And if so-and-so wins Entertainer of the Year and you don't think they're country, but the rest of the world does.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Absolutely.
Because they're being themselves and they're getting rewarded for it.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I don't care whether or not I'm fond of that person's music. I'm proud of them.
Same. I mean, I love people that show up the same way all the time. I just think that is so important. How do you handle your fans and connection with your fans?
I like to make friendships.
I love that. Me too.
Yeah.
We have a lot in common.
I tell at the end of every show, I tell them I'm going to be at the record table after the show. Come give me a hug. I'm a hugger.
Love that.
And so
I think in a previous life I was Bucky.
Oh, yeah.
I literally think that if somebody would give me my own clean suit and let me walk around as Bucky,
I love it.
I think it would be the best job of my life, to be honest.
You would be a cute Bucky.
You don't even know.
You'd be
I'm
the
telling
cutest Bucky there
my
was.
friends are like, Deb was like, she is the original Winnie the Pooh.
I love that.
Some are like Walmart reader Deb. She's like, you need denture cream? Deb's the only one that's going to be damn happy to take you. She's going to be like telling you about the denture cream. She's going to be like, you look lovely. I think this is the best day of your life. They're like, that was what I was meant to do.
I love that.
That's still there, man. Like, that's always an opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're not counting that out.
You and I, we have really good personalities in that, like, we can just be what somebody needs us to be.
Yes.
And that's so important, and just in life, even if you're not
Yes.
trying to make a music career or trying to be an
Right.
entrepreneur or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Just in life to be able to do that for people.
And can I just tell you,
know.
your energy is infectious.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, one of the most genuine people I've ever, I just in my entire life. I'm only
Well, that's
29.
important.
Did I mention I was 29 yet?
Really? Me too.
Okay, cool.
Look at that.
Soul sisters.
Same age.
Soul sisters for life.
Soul sister, soul sister.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. I just have always had this. I love a story.
Yeah.
How do you truly learn everything? All my friends like, I don't want to talk to strangers. I don't want to flying coach. I'm like, dude, don't put me in first class. Those people put their headphones on. Mm-hmm. Those are not my people.
Yeah.
How do you truly learn things about life? You're not learning that in the college classroom.
Right.
You're not learning that in music school. You're not. To me, I'm like, tell me a story.
Yeah.
Give me a story, because
Right.
that to me is like, that's knowledge you're never getting for free.
And that's what connects us right back to country music. When
Absolutely.
we write songs, we're writing a story.
You're writing
And
a
it
story.
is so important when you're writing a song to make it something that somebody can relate to, but will also let them know that they're not alone, or teach them that it's okay,
Yes.
or whatever it needs to do, whatever that song needs to be for that
Yes.
person. And that's why we
Yes.
tell, I mean, we're songwriters, but we're storytellers.
Yes, truth. And whatever you're going through at the moment is translating to,
Yeah.
it's just about making people feel like.
And it can be anything. It can be a sad song. It can be, it can be Before He Cheats, right? I mean, we've all been cheated on. Everybody's been cheated on.
Amen.
And
We're all broken. It's just how we present it.
Yeah, and you don't think of Before He Cheats as being a song that's good for somebody's soul. You think of
Right.
it just being an angry song.
Right.
But man, is it good for your soul when you've just been cheated on?
It's so damn
And you
good.
can sit there and you can blast it and you can imagine yourself putting a Louisville Slugger through his
Right,
headlights.
absolutely. That's
You know?
that's your theme song, your
Yeah.
fight song, your chicken soup song,
Yeah.
soul chicken, whatever it is.
And then you can take that all the way to the other extreme. Mark Wills, Don't Laugh at Me.
right.
You could take a song, the Tracy Lawrence song, You Find Out Who Your Friends Are. I got in a car accident because I was crying to that song.
Wow.
And so it doesn't have to be, there's all kinds of songs in the world, and every single one of them is going to touch somebody. It doesn't have to be a song meant to touch somebody. It doesn't have to be a song meant not to touch somebody.
And you just
It's
never know
gonna
when that
happen.
moment is coming too. I was at Crash My Playa in Mexico in January, and we were fortunate enough to get some backstage passes. And Jelly Roll to me came on, and I'm like, I had this insane childhood. That I'm like, this is it. I need to teach people that we can overcome anything. And I'm like, the song came on about I'm like, praise, sing it, dude.
Yeah.
Sing it. Like that to me was like, and country music, that's what it does for people.
Yeah. Jelly Roll knows how to do it too, man.
Jelly Roll is so good.
He knows how to get to the people who need it the most.
I'm telling you, that's a gift. It's not just the talent. It's a gift to resonate. Yeah. But I got to like hang out with like Bailey Zimmerman, like some really
So cool.
Oh my God! First of all, that energy. I'm like, dude, if you can ball that up and give me something to TSA approved, like I'm gonna take some of that home with me.
Love it.
Really, and they've all been just like you, just incredibly amazing. So we're gonna follow this forever and ever and ever. How do the listeners, because we're getting into some music.
Yeah.
Of course, this is why, for sure, we want to showcase your talent. How do the listeners and the viewers, how do they get more of you?
You can find me on all of the socials. I'm M Canning Music, canning like a canning jar, not like a boom boom cannon.
I love that.
And my website, michellecanning.net, Michelle with 2 L's. And make sure you say .net, because .com will bring you to an interior designer, which I am not.
Can I tell you something? How much did you and I buggle with this? Right? I'm like, it's not going. And my assistant's like, I can't get through to her. I'm like, this chick is fabulous. Let me just pick up the damn thing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah. And you're very, very approachable.
Well,
how do you
thank
handle fans like on social media that DM you?
You know what? If you're going to be kind to me, I'll DM you right back.
I love this.
If I were to write to Reba and she wrote back to me, gosh, my whole day would be just amazing. And so I want to be able to do that for people. And, I'm in a place, Reba, she has a lot going on. She doesn't have the time to DM every single person.
Plus an acting career.
Right,
it's a lot.
exactly. But me, I'm at a place where I can answer those DMs. And if I can make your day, I'm going to do it.
That's great. I know.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, if you're going to support me, what can I do to make your day a little better?
Exactly.
You know? So let's get into some music, my friend.
Let's do it. Yeah.
You going to sing or just
You want me to
banjo?
sing? I
would
can sing.
love if you could sing.
Let's do it. Let's see. Let's do, we'll do a song off my new album.
Love it.
And it kind of goes with the theme of everything we've been talking about
Awesome.
today.
We're
I wrote
in.
this with Bill O'Hanlon and Greg Wilson. It's
Awesome.
called Medicine. Those bills stacking up, too many to pay. Bank accounts low and the truck needs new brakes. Rough day at work, the boss on my back. But I know what to do with days like that. When the world gets the best of me, I put my favorite song on repeat. Music's my medicine, teaching me lessons, soothing my soul and healing my heart. It can get me high, it can make me cry, stitch me together when I'm falling apart. On a country drive or lonely night, singing along or just listening to a song. Music's my medicine. Watching the news is getting to me. When I start losing faith in humanity, I get on the road and go. Then I turn on the radio. Music's my medicine, teaching me lessons, soothing my soul and healing my heart. It can get me high, it can make me cry, stitch me together when I'm falling apart. On a country drive or lonely night, singing along or just listening to a song. Music's my medicine. Music's my medicine. Thank you.
Bravo!
Thank you.
Bravo! That was beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate
That
it.
was amazing.
Thank you.
I am, whoa, now I'm a little more
Well, you can
starstruck.
find the whole thing with the full band. It's on Spotify and Apple Music, wherever you listen to music.
That's awesome.
But the song
Like,
is
go
called
download
Medicine,
that,
and yeah,
right?
the album is Outside the Lines and all original tunes on the album.
I
so
love it. I
Thank
love
you.
it. One last question.
Yeah.
You're coming back, right?
I would love to.
You're gonna come
If
back.
you'll have me, I'll be back.
Girlfriend, can you be our weekly puppet? No. We would love it. And let's tell the viewers and the listeners, how can we donate to your cause? How do we make sure that families are getting the support they need for
Absolutely.
Alzheimer's?
www.michellecanning.net. There's a tab on the top that says Alzheimer's Benefit. You click on that. There's a link to donate. And the whole show is going to be aired again, probably about a month from now. We don't have an exact date yet. We're kind of editing it all down right now.
That's great.
But keep an eye on the socials, so we'll announce a date. And you'll be able to watch the entire show, and you can donate while you're watching the show.
Thank you for honestly bringing this energy and this joy and this passion and this incredible music.
Thank you.
I feel so honored.
Well, I feel honored too.
Thank you
For all that you're doing. You're making the world such a better place with this podcast by giving people a chance to dream.
Oh, thank you so much. And we're doing this again. We're
Absolutely.
Totally doing
I can't wait.
Yes, same. 29-year-old soul sister.
Love it. Soul sister, soul sister.
Seriously, we can get an act going.
Yeah, we can.
Do you have a tour bus yet?
No, but we'll get one.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll
be easy.
Do you mind if it's green?
I love green.
Green's
Green's a great color.
Yeah.
I
think
Loretta Lynn's first bus was green.
I love that.
So, we're just
when
channeling our inner
people do
Loretta.
The best, why are you trying to step out of that box?
Exactly.
If it's done right.
Exactly.
Or we're going to tour together.
If it's good enough for Loretta, it's good enough for us. Yeah. We're going to be great.
We're going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you, my dear friend.
Thank you.
It's been an honor.
It's been an honor.